Hello and good morning everybody. We are here now for part 2 of our dream workshop. I take it you've all got your dream diaries now and beside your bed with a pen and you're starting to write your dreams down, which is important when you're a bit of a learner in this, it's better to write your dreams down. So today we're going to be talking about people who are in your dreams. We had a little go at that already in the introduction. There were certain aspects of this, like we already said that, people who so like your mum, your sister, whoever, who should you arrange that they play themselves in your dream, okay? So that whoever else is there, those are the people you need to look at, and those are the people you need to concentrate on, okay? Sometimes, I don't know if this happens to you, but you might see famous people in dreams. And, you think, my God, what does this mean now, famous person, Now, my famous person I used to often see in dreams was Michael Jackson. Really, and in real life, I was never a fan as such. Obviously, everybody knows everything Michael Jackson's ever done, If you don't, then, But I kept seeing him in dreams, and we were always very good friends. And one day I thought, this is very strange. What the hell would I possibly have in common with Michael Jackson? And I sat down and I wrote down what I knew about him and what definitely applied to me. And the amount of things I had in common with Michael Jackson were actually uncanny. From the abusive father figure, already that was the first thing, and that was a very big part of, our having things in common, of being very sensitive, being trying to do good for people, trying to be kind, all these kind of things. I had so many things in common with Michael Jackson. And there I quite amazed myself. I thought, my God, who would have thought that? Fancy that. So many things. Obviously, sadly, money wasn't one of them, but, a lot of other things definitely were. So, I would advise you to do that. If you see anybody famous in your dreams, sit down and find out about them and see what you and them have in common. And sometimes depending on the dream, you are given instructions maybe to change certain aspects of yourself, or see maybe that certain things are your downfall as well as have been their downfall. So Michael Jackson, very kind to people, and look what happened, he was falsely accused, and of one of the worst crimes that anybody could ever think of. There is definitely no way you would ever have any sympathy with a pedophile, and definitely not. And when I thought about this, I thought, how many people have I actually in real life now helped out? And these people have betrayed me. They're stolen from me. They're, all sorts, believe me. And I thought, well, look at that now, Okay, would somebody accuse me of pedophilia more than once? No, because I would stop. I would have never ever let anybody come to my house again. Sadly, he didn't, take that outlook for himself. And strangely enough, neither did I. I can't help but, get involved if somebody needs something or they're in trouble. I will help them. And I had to now also very consciously look at that and say, what, stop jumping in immediately. You're always the rescuer, and that's basically, at that time, what, my being friends in my dreams with Michael Jackson, we definitely had this part in common. when Michael was coming to the O2, people used to say to me, "Oh, you must be really excited, Michael Jackson's coming." I said, "He won't be at the O2. "Oh, what do you mean?" I said, "Trust me, you heard it here first. He won't be at the O2. And about 3 days before he died, I saw him in my dream. And he looked at me, he smiled, and he blew me a kiss and he waved. And I said, aye, here it comes, watch now. And then there we go. 2 days before he was supposed to come to the O2, he died. That was strange. I saw Lady Diana Spencer. She's also been another one who was often in my dreams, and usually when I saw her, it was never a good omen. It was always somebody I know would die. That's the message she always portrayed. The first time I saw her, she was in a waiting room, and there were 2 other people there before, and I said, "Well, why are you here?" She said, "Well, I'm waiting." I said, "Really?" "Ah." And I thought, oh, I don't know if I like this. 3 days later, she was dead. And I thought, oh, this is strange. I saw her again in a dream, and in this particular dream, she had a nose piercing, she had more ear piercings, and I said to her, I like your nose piercing, it looks really fantastic. And she said, "You know somebody who has piercings?" I said, "I know a lot of people who have piercings, you know." "Yeah, but you know somebody who has piercings?" I said, "Okay." "Alright, so I'm thinking, what is this about now? You know somebody who has piercings. I know loads of people who have piercings. My son has piercings, my daughter has piercings, their friends have piercings, you know, loads." And then one day it came to pass that I was sitting upstairs with my daughter in her room, and a spirit walked straight through me. As everybody on you knows, I'm a psychic, and you know I'm a witch. I do the whole shebang. So now, you know, and I said to my daughter, I said, somebody's died. Somebody we know very well at that has died. And about 2 days after that, we had a phone call, and it was my daughter's ex-girlfriend who had died. Which I also actually predicted in a tarot card reading that this would happen, and when I realized that I was so spot on with my reading, I stopped reading the cards for years. It scared me, because, you know, to be that right is frightening. And I my God, you know, no. Oh, she was only 21 years old. And when you lose somebody that young, you know, I didn't get over that for years, to be honest with you. It was a horrible experience. You know, young person, age 21, and she died of a heroin overdose, as I predicted in the cards, and she wasn't taking heroin when I knew her at all. Any drugs at all. So, you know, again, you see, you know, Princess Diana, when I see her, I always know somebody's going, you know, so I pay very great attention to her, what she is wearing, how she is dressed, what she, you know, again, pay attention to certain things there, you know, because it's obviously important. So, you know, I'm giving you examples of my own experiences here, you know. So, also, say you have other people who appear in your dream, and maybe you're doing horrible things to them. That can happen. And you sometimes wonder, my God, this was really violent, you know, I'm not like this in real life at all. All that means is that you're killing off aspects of yourself that you no longer need, or that are no longer necessary for you to hold on to or to have, or, you know, it's better you let them go. You also sometimes have helpers in dreams who are people you don't know, but you know them in your dream. And again, these are aspects of yourself that you don't know you have. You see, again, there's a lot involved in dreams, you know. It's never just a dream. If people tell you that, ignore them. They don't know what they're talking about. It's not never just a dream. Okay, so you need to be aware of this. So now I want you, for your exercise now, to write down who your familiar strangers are in your dreams. Maybe people you often see, but in real life you don't know them. Your famous people. Now I'd be very interested to hear who your famous people are and what you actually have in common with them. Okay, so that's one thing. So now that's a little bit of an exercise I'm going to give you here. Alright, so I want you to do that, and then I want you to tell me about it. Alright? Then now sometimes you can have people who come in your dream and they're turning from a nice person into a really nasty, scary person who is now running after you and is chasing you, and you know, and now you're thinking, my God, what's going on here? I'm having a nightmare. This is really frightening me. Again, first of all, when this happens, you can train yourself in your dreams that you turn round now and you face the monster, whoever it is, whether it's a person, whether it's, you know, a supernatural being, whatever. Turn around and face them and ask them what they want. Why are they doing this? What do they want from you? And you will see, if it's a monster, it suddenly, if it was really huge, you know, it suddenly withers down and becomes very small and insignificant, and you know, that now tells you that you definitely have the ability to overcome any problems in your life. When the nasty person changes into a nice person, or vice versa, those again, you know, are aspects of you. And now you need to look at yourself and see what's happening there. Why I can change from somebody who's kind-hearted to somebody who's extremely cruel with the drop of a hat. That's a bit wow, you know. Again, aspects of you. Have a look at yourself. Your dreams are there to help you, they're there to guide you, they're there to make sense out of your everyday occurrences that you're picking up, and sometimes you don't know how to deal with them. And you know, and sometimes they let you know certain things, you know. Like for instance, last year, in about November time or so, I had a dream where I was downstairs in my son's room, and I'd given him an alarm clock, an electric one, you know, quite a long time. I've had the same clock in our house now for at least 30 years, thereabouts, you know. And I gave him this clock so he could, you know, get ready for work and get himself up, etc., etc. Okay. So in this dream, I was downstairs in my son's room, and I said to him, I saw the clock was flashing on 12. And I said in this dream, oh my God, Loxy, my clock has stopped. So he said, put a new battery in, because my clock upstairs has is battery operated. So I said, I can't, it's electric. And I wake up, I'm thinking, my God, my clock has stopped. Clock stopping in a dream is the end of your life. That is what it means. It is the end of your life. The clock stopped is the end of your life. And you know, and I'm thinking, this is okay. I'm going to be dead by December because it stopped at 12. So you know, obviously, my God, I'm going to be dead. I felt a bit happy about it, to be honest with you. But and this dream wouldn't leave me alone. Hold on, did I say I dreamt that in November? That's not true. It was before then. Long before then, about the summertime. Sorry about that, it was about summertime. And I'm thinking this, it wouldn't leave me alone. It would not leave me alone. It wouldn't leave me alone, and it's as though I misinterpreted something. It wouldn't leave me alone. And then now December comes and I'm thinking, okay, I wonder when the day is then. You know, I was quite prepared, and now September is coming. And September went and I'm still here and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. The clock was flashing, which means usually is when you have a power cut, you know, anything that's electric now starts flashing, you have to reset it. Reset. So I thought, oh, my life has to change or something. And you know, from then until today, I had so much work to do on myself, where I had to let past experiences go and move on now. I am now 60 years old. I have to move on. These things have destroyed my life all these years, and I had to let them go. I had to move on. I also at the time had a very good angel card reading from my daughter in Australia, and you know, certain things I was actually helped with. Like one of my friends was missing in real life now for 25 years and nobody knew where he was. And I was told that day that he was with them. And finally I could let that go and I could stop worrying. Where is he? Where is he? Because there's nothing worse than when somebody is missing, you know, and you don't know what's happened. If you find out the person has died, it's good because now you can grieve and you can get on with things, but you don't know anything. Somebody missing is the worst thing that could ever happen to anyone. Believe me, it's the worst thing. But you know, again, I got closure for that and various other things, and I'm still doing work today, but you know, it was very, very necessary and it definitely helped. So, you know, again, you know, everything is kind of working in conjunction with things that need to happen. Can you see that? See the resetting of the clock. I have to rethink on my life. I have to rethink on the way I look at things or I do things. You know, your dreams definitely tell you things to do. So it's never just a dream. Again, you know, pay close attention to that. So now, certain symbolisms, you know, like clocks. Clocks represent the time. And here now, if a clock stopped, your time of your life is over. And there is no other laying out of that. That's it. Your time here is over. You're going to move on to somewhere else. So, you know, don't be alarmed if this happens. There's nothing to be scared of. People in dreams, pay close attention to what they're doing. You know, especially your people who are aspects of yourself. Pay close attention to them and see what it is they're doing, because this is probably something you're doing and you might not be aware of it. If it's not a very good thing, then you know that you need to change that part of you. Okay? So in our next workshop we're going to be discussing animals in dreams and what they mean, and what they're trying to tell us, and you know, also again certain aspects of ourselves, certain animals. Obviously I'm a cat owner, so you know, I will see cats in dreams, you know, that they play themselves. For me, they play themselves. However, one of them, Merlin, who is a very intelligent cat, and he's 14 years old now, you know, he's an old boy now, but Merlin has been my familiar for all these years, and Merlin very often saves me in a nightmare. You know, he's the one who always saves me. And it's, you know, sometimes really scary. Oh my God. And I call for him in my dreams and he's there immediately, you know. So he plays himself. He's my savior. He's my little familiar. That's who he is in my dreams. So, alright, that's my animals who play themselves. I Also, I had a dog before, but if I see the dog, I tend to pay attention. If you see a dog barking, that's a warning to watch out, something is happening. And they're making you aware of this. So again, pay attention to that. Write down who are your dream animals. Write it down so you know. This is an ongoing study. We'll be here for a very long time because this is very, very involved. You may not be aware of that just yet, but it's very involved. Alright, so I'm going to see you in a couple of days so you can write things down, and I'd like some feedback from you. Alright, so until then, bye for now, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.